You guys, here we go. Hey folks, I'm Lisa Hendrickson, your hostess, and welcome to our 5th course for Office 365, all training done by technicians. This week I have Marvin B. from MB Systems here with Adam Carpenter, again from IT Pros of Iowa. Welcome you guys to the course.
Hi.
Hello.
They are your trainers this week. I'm not going to be doing much of the training, but I'm just going to be in the conversation and asking questions where I feel they are necessary. Marvin, go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do down there in Florida and your business and all that.
All right, folks. Well, again, my name is Marvin, and I live in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and I have been a network consultant for the past years. And I basically do network administration and support for small businesses, and pretty much the target range is 9 to 99 users. Have some smaller, have some larger, but
Nice.
It's all network administration and moving heavily into the Office 365 world.
Yeah, there's a lot of work there. Do you want to tell us about anything else you do on the side?
On the side,
Side
There's-
hustles?
there isn't much side except for many of you probably know me as the host of Podnuts Pro.
Yeah.
And that is a podcast aimed towards small businesses and managed service providers, providing business support tips and stories from the trenches.
Yeah, I highly recommend if you're moving out of break fix that you listen to Marvin and his crew. Those guys don't mess around there.
It's a good show. Yep.
Yeah. That's been a long running show too there, and I tell you that. That was on when I started podcasting there.
Yep.
All right, Adam, why don't you tell us about yourself a little bit and what you do over there in Iowa?
All right. I'm Adam, IT Professionals of Iowa. We do managed services as well. We're hybrid. We do break fix managed services. Our target market is 5 to 20 users typically. Been doing it for 7 years now.
Nice. Well, guys, I invited these two on because Marvin and Adam and myself all work with AppRiver partners, and Marvin has some experiences that are different than Adam's. There are different levels of services and things like that, so I thought it'd be a good listening for those that are in break fix, moving to MSP, moving to bigger MSP, and there's even bigger MSP out there. We're going to have another guy that does like 1,000 endpoints and things like that. We're trying to get a little escalated levels for everybody to listen and learn and decide what's right for you and your company when you get to the next levels. Or if you're at a level, you'll learn some stuff anyway. Right, guys?
Sure.
There's always stuff to learn here. We're never gonna end learning with Office 365. Thank gosh. Always money to be made. Well, do you guys want to take it from here? They've got an outline ready to go.
All right, we can do that.
Great.
All right. So, Adam, I had started off the outline with just talking about some real simple things. I know that they've been covered not only in other shows, other podcasts, other courses, but the whole idea of selling Office 365 usually begins with trying to pitch the customer as to, the benefits and the pain points and stuff like that. So what are some things that you look for when you're first starting to talk to your customer about moving to Office 365?
So one of the biggest things, like with our customers, especially when we get started with one of the first things I ask is, do you have your licenses for your software? It doesn't matter what software. And obviously they never do.
Right.
So the Office 365 license management is great. You just log in and it's all there. So that's one of the biggest things.
Yeah,
Ah.
mine's all over the place too. Home, who knows what they bought.
Yeah. But at least you can log into the portal and you can just see what they have and what,
Right.
it's easy to keep track of.
Yeah, most customers don't know they have licenses.
Yeah.
They don't know where they even bought it.
It didn't come with the computer.
A lot of times it did, and they don't know where that came from.
Yeah.
I think that's really important, actually, that licensing. I deal with that every day, and I do like it in one place, and I know where everything is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So for me, moving into the Office 365 space really came about because most of my customers had their on-premise Exchange servers. And then it became an issue of, we have downtime, we have hardware costs that we have to maintain. And so they wanted those things to go away.
Sure.
So it's a matter of, hey, you can have less downtime if we move you to Office 365. less IT overhead. You don't have to worry about that server hardware, every 3 to 5 years. So that was the way to sell them. And even though we did provide them with the mobile email on their, mobile devices, it was a lot easier to configure with Office 365 across all the different platforms. So that was
Sure.
how I got my customers to go on board, having that access anytime, anywhere.
Nice.
Our customers are more on the smaller side, so most of them didn't have on-site Exchange servers. Most of them were using a unreliable webmail or IMAP, so typically with small limits on their mailbox sizes, so that's definitely a selling point as well. Which, when they say, oh, I don't have to delete any email, you kind of cringe, but you're like, well, yeah, you won't have your 5 gig limit anymore.
I remember those old days from the old hosted Exchange days, 4 gig limit.
Well, for the small business server, the default was 2.
I remember. Oh, the good old days of the H drive.
Yeah.
And having the PST there.
Yeah. Now you got the PSTs on OneDrive.
Exactly. True.
All right. So now the whole idea of selling Office 365. So with AppRiver, they make it easy, but a lot of techs and managed service providers look at the whole idea of, I want to be able to make as much money as I can in selling this product. They're either, losing revenue from the Exchange server, or they think that if they don't get the customer to be inside of their little platform, they will lose their customers. So a lot of companies look to go CSP. But the real question is why? Why go CSP when you have companies like AppRiver that are big direct CSP providers?
Yeah, I know with all of us, Marvin, you have some contractors occasionally, but for us, we're one-man shops, one-woman shops, so it's definitely nice for us to have a vendor like AppRiver where they have a support staff on hand available 24/7 that's easy to work with. We've all worked with Microsoft here and there. It's not always the easiest to work with them. And with the reseller plan with AppRiver, you can set your own prices and set your own margins as well. The difference is you have a phenomenal support team behind you.
Right.
Maybe we should explain what CSP is, because some people don't know, and they don't know how hard it is to get into it, because it's not easy to get a CSP by yourself. Do you guys want to move into that?
So it's cloud service provider, but I've never tried to sign up for it.
I have. Because I was one day going, maybe I should do it. I don't know if everybody talks about it.
Well, there was a time where it was easy to be a CSP, but they're making it harder now.
Yeah, I think there's limits to how many mailboxes you have and how many end users, and I think it's, I don't want to say 50, maybe higher now. But they've really got it down to where it's really difficult to be one. And you have to go through a partner, which is AppRiver and things like that to
right.
brokerage.
Yeah, today, to be a CSP, you've really got to have a huge minimum.
Yeah.
And for a lot of small businesses, not just the solo techs, but even small MSPs, you can't guarantee whatever the number is, 500 mailboxes that you can. It's a lot of times, the best thing about AppRiver is you can start with 2.
Yeah.
Right. I do 1.
I believe with CSP, I want to say I heard there's a minimum per year you have to add as well, but I could be wrong on that.
Well,
there's goals.
When that big MSP comes on later on in the course, you can get them to.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, also, I do know that if you are considering CSP, you should have a tier 1 and tier 2 staff level to be able to handle that, because that's where, you're not going to want to call Microsoft for every little thing. You want to have trained in-house techs. A lot of us don't have that. People can say they're a big MSP and they're really a one-man show doing 1,000 endpoints. It's, not challenging to do that when you got automated tools anymore.
Yeah.
So, we see that a lot. So everybody's a one-person show. You might have bigger staff, but you have to pick what's right for you and your management of how you do everything. I don't have tier 1. AppRiver's my tier 1. I'm tier 3. For me.
For me, I'm 1, 2, and 3.
Well.
And most of us are.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we should do our own support, but the thing I've learned is, when I'm doing a sale with the clients, I say, they're U.S. based out of Florida, open 24 hours a day, sold.
Yep.
It's quality versus going for the savings of $1 a month.
Right.
And I tell people, yeah, you can go to Microsoft directly, but for me to fix that might be 2 hours at $169, and that's way expensive, and I don't want to do that work anyway. I mean, who wants to sit on the phone with the Microsoft folks? Not me.
Yeah. So all the things we just discussed about are the things of when you look at going CSP or going with a provider like AppRiver.
Mhm.
We mentioned it earlier, better margins, especially if you do the reseller program. You've got scalability. You can start as low as you want,
Mhm.
1, 2, and then scale up and get those 20, 30, 40 mailbox clients. You can have dedicated channel sales reps. So if you have questions and you need to call somebody, somebody's going to answer at AppRiver.
Mhm.
You may not get an answer at Microsoft.
Right.
What else is there? Well, of course, AppRiver's phenomenal care, US-based support, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year.
Yep. I've never called and not gotten a tech.
Well,
I
not
called
even
last night and got a tech. They're always there.
they're always there. Somebody always answers the phone. Have you noticed that?
Yep.
Well, and it's super sweet during the day. You get people that sound like machines, and they're really just
Yeah.
sweet people named Dawn and something else. They're
Yep.
really nice people that answer the phone.
Yep.
I wasn't like, is this for real? Yeah, they're nice.
Yeah.
They're real.
And let's not forget one of the best things about going with a partner like AppRiver is if it's your customer, you maintain the relationship. AppRiver will never try to steal your customer from you.
Right.
No, I've learned that too. And they don't send out emails to the clients with their products.
And if you're a reseller, they'll actually point the customer back to you first if they haven't talked to you.
Yep.
Because you should be managing that relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So all the great things about being a reseller. Now, AppRiver does have 2 partner programs. They've got the reseller, which basically means you maintain the customer relationship. You maintain the billing. You can charge whatever you want, which is great for managed service providers that want to bundle it into their services.
Right.
But another piece of that partner program is just simply a referral program where
That's me.
you may not want to maintain the customer and be that first point of contact, but they can go to AppRiver, they pay AppRiver, but you still get a commission fee, whether it's monthly or annually, depending on their plan, and still make money off the customer.
Yep. So like for us, we occasionally get calls from people several states away where they don't necessarily need managed services, and it would be hard for us to provide that anyway. But they still want us to do their Office 365 migrations, so the referral plan would be good for those. We'll get you set up. If you need anything, call AppRiver. If they can't take care of you, go ahead and call us and we'll take care of it. But for the most part, those customers are good. They have their own IT support, that they're just not familiar with Office 365 or don't want to do the migration or what have you. So the referral plan is good for those.
I'm 100% that plan.
Right.
I don't do any reselling. And for those that are like, well, I want to do both, there are times that you do want to do both because maybe the right client doesn't want to be in a contract. They're anti-contract. So AppRiver doesn't have contracts. So here's what I'm saying is let's spend hundreds of dollars setting you up on something with no contract, then you better pay that bill every month.
Yeah.
It will go away if you don't pay it. But every client's now, they're trying to get out of things. They don't want a subscription. They don't want this. And I had a client that specifically said, I want monthly. I like that small bill. Great. That works for you. So working with your clients, even if you don't do 100% MSP, is sometimes you might get more from a small one that says they just want something specific.
Yeah. So with the billing, if let's say you have a large customer, and they're replacing, 5 or 10 machines at a time, and you got to buy Office for all of them, certainly less to do it with the monthly Office 365 package than it is to buy, Office Business outright per license up front anyway. The cost is less. Yeah.
Who's still buying software these days?
We still have customers that refuse to do Office 365. There's not many of them, but we have some.
Yeah, I don't let them do it on my clock anymore.
As far as I'm concerned, we bill either way, so that's fine.
Right.
Whatever makes the customer happy and want to stay with you.
Yep.
I know. I just don't purchase anymore with them. I'm like, what? Why? Subscribe.
Yeah.
Then you get support.
Right. Well, that and and you can move the licenses easier, especially if it's not an OEM license. You can move Office around, and once you explain to customers that you can have it on up to multiple devices, mobile devices, and all those, it certainly makes sense in the long run. Another thing with Office 365 that's nice is they make it very easy to add and subtract licenses. You're not stuck with our remote monitoring tool. We have to buy licenses, and then if we end up not using them, we still have to pay for them. With AppRiver or Office 365, if a customer downsizes, you just remove the licenses. It's no big deal.
No, it's very quick. Blue swipe, white swipe, over.
Yeah.
All right, Marvin, what's next?
Well, let's see. Is there anything we missed about the phenomenal partner program? So we've got, low guaranteed reseller pricing. You can get rebates when they do specials and stuff like that.
Spiffs?
Yep.
Yep, spiffs. So they do have that. We talked about the 24/7 support. Dedicated channel sales advisors. Now, Lisa, I know that you've talked to some of the same people I've talked to over there, and Adam, I'm going to assume that you have as well.
Yep.
Being able to call them with a question, again, just about any time of day, is absolutely valuable when you're trying to resell a product, and it's something you don't know 100%.
Right.
Whether it's the new, the teams that have come out or some of the other stuff, even if it's, Skype has been around forever, but selling Skype as part of Office 365, many people don't really know about. So
yeah,
that's a great
There's a lot of products that people don't know about. That's why we're doing the classes.
It's hard for me to keep up with all of them.
Right. We're going to keep up with all of them in the courses, I hope. Try.
Yeah,
I'll tell you guys that I email my rep all the time, and email is the best way for me and him. We're both fast. And about every quarter, we do a catch-up for 20 minutes and just keep up with each other. That's about all. 5 years I've been with my guy. That's a long time for me. Very long. So I depend on my rep, though, to help me with the little questions and stuff, and they're all typically really fast on email.
Yep.
Yeah.
They are great.
Mm-hmm.
So now, in terms of what does it take to become a partner with AppRiver? Not much.
Not much, no.
First of all, no cost. So you don't have to pay them to be a partner for them. You pretty much sign a quick little one-page partner agreement, and you attend a 1-hour live training.
Yep. Yeah, they make it very easy to sign up. They do everything they can to get you started and get you the information you need. They always have training materials. They have marketing materials. They will custom make marketing materials for you. They do webinars frequently. Very informative.
Yeah, I think they're going to be promoting this too out to the courses. So if you're a new partner or an old partner, and there's a lot of things coming out that we're going to be hopefully hitting on with these. So this is part of it too, the courses.
Now, have either of you taken advantage of the partner marketing products?
I have used some of their logos and information on our site.
Okay.
But other than that, I have asked for, they're going to make me a contact page similar to what they have on their website in PDF form. I'm waiting on that.
Nice.
Nice.
So, because their webpage looks great, but when we sign up new, like referral partners, when we're working with Lisa, I like to give them, here's all of your contact information. If you need something, this is how to get a hold of them. So that's what we're looking for.
Oh, that's a good idea. No, I use my own stuff, but their name's all over my stuff, so
yeah,
I market for them. Yeah, I have my own methods of how I do stuff, but for the marketing stuff, I don't use any of their promotional materials. But tell me all about it if they have it. I just never looked into it.
Yeah, they have quite a bit.
I haven't used it either. I just always direct my customers to the website. And, here's the thing. I don't hide who I partner with.
No. I don't either.
And I know a lot of companies might. They may, try to white label it, which AppRiver lets you do. You can white label if you want to, but I don't. I want my customers to know exactly who we're dealing with. If there's ever a problem in the future, and I don't like them or they don't like me, they know that they're not going to have to worry about the relationship with their mail provider.
Right.
Well, I just got my user list the other day, and I kind of saw a few people that I don't work with anymore on there. They stayed with AppRiver though.
Yeah.
They didn't stay with me, but that's okay because I'm still earning commissions.
Yep.
5 years later, no kidding. Yeah, and that's why you move them to a company that if something bad happens, they're still there.
Right.
That does bring up a good point. So I hadn't done this, but I asked AppRiver what the process, or if it was possible to move between a partner program and a reseller program. So let's say, for example, you're on the reseller program, you have a customer on there, it doesn't work out between you and that customer, so they still want the AppRiver service. So at that point, you as the reseller would either call or email AppRiver, and they make the changes. They contact the customer, get the billing changed over, no big deal. You can also go the other way. So if the customer is either a direct customer with AppRiver or on a referral plan, they have to initiate the call into AppRiver, and then they can get you set up under a reseller as well. So it is possible to move between those programs.
Very, very easy.
Yep.
Yeah, I think I've been dropped as a tech contact with those folks, so I never hear from them. Which I'm cool with.
Sure.
But they're still there.
Yep. So speaking of ease, what do you guys think of the partner portal that they've put out over the last year? It's been about, I guess, 18 months now.
Overall, I like it much better than the last one they had.
I never saw the old one because I've always had the same one.
I tried to find pictures and I couldn't find any of the older one.
Yeah.
We'll have to do a Wayback Machine show on that.
Yeah.
But
Well,
I like the page, and especially with the fact of when you first log in and you bring up things like customer management, all your customers are there.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you can sort them by, reseller or referral. And again, remember, we're talking about the ability to do both. You don't have to be just one type of partner. You can be a referral or a reseller partner, and all of them show up inside your portal.
right.
And so
That's where I got my extracted list. And I pulled out the list and I could see who the admin accounts were, which was handy. Because I've got 600 mailboxes now, I think, maybe. And I found out who the users were. And that was cool because if I ever wanted to market, but see, I don't send emails to the mailbox people. That's not right. But I have them in case I need it.
Yeah. And you can see the subscriptions that each customer has. So if they're just a referral, but yet you wonder why your commission went up or down, you can log in and see what they added or dropped. So that's always a thing as well.
I saw a few companies that when they call AppRiver to do stuff, I don't even know about it, and I do see it in the commission and the sales area. I'm like, nice.
Yeah. Well, and it's nice that you can also mix and match product SKUs as needed. So if if not everybody needs business premium, you can get essentials for some of the users. That's nice as well. You only pay for what you need.
I used to sell a lot more essentials, but now I've been moving into just the business premium. I almost never sell E3 or higher.
Yeah.
So to me, the business premium, which we're going to have a show on Office 365 Home, because that's a lot of our break fix people are dealing with that, and to scoot everybody over. And it's so easy to upgrade now.
Yeah, for us, we're primarily business premium for our customers.
Nice.
Usually when we come in, they're on Office 2010 or used to be 2007. And so when it was time to change that, we usually upgrade them to business premium.
Okay. I try. I got that 5 for $99 a year to compete with. That's real hard.
See, for us, we tell them, look, you're a business. You need to have the business plan, so it works for us. If we're going to support it, it has to be the proper version.
I know. I tell them, here's what I say to people is, you got the 5 for $99 and you'll get support, but it's going to be with chat with people through, India, and that's going to be hours and hours and hours.
Yep.
Or you can switch it over and pay the few extra bucks a year and just call whenever you want and talk to someone out of Florida who will remote in and not chat with you. That's my biggest way to get them over, because I'm like, it's frustrating. And then what I say is, well, I'll get you started with Microsoft, but I'm not going to sit on the call with you for 4 hours.
Right.
And then you're in charge of doing everything. And now Microsoft, get this. When they remote in, they use Log Me In Rescue now, and they're using a red arrow. They won't do the work anymore. They talk you through it with this little arrow.
Yep.
They're not responsible.
That's right. We'll show you where to click, but we won't click it.
Yeah. Well, they're also really quick on removing a profile and not backing up the data from the OST file. Remember that.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, and my products, I'm all over the place. I've got Plan 1s, E3, Premium, the CPP, mail encryption, Cipher Post.
Nice.
You can mix and match a lot of different products, folks.
What's the Cipher Post?
That's their
Encryption.
secure mail,
The what?
the secure mail platform.
Oh, Secure
The
Tag?
encryption? No, the encryption.
Oh,
No, the
sorry.
encryption.
Okay.
The secure mail encryption.
Gotcha. Do you sell a lot of that?
Actually, I am selling more of it now, yes.
Well, thank gosh there's phishing and hacking going on because that makes that
Well,
sale a little easier.
No, it's more like HIPAA and FINRA.
Oh, the FINRA.
Yep.
I don't mean thank goodness. I mean, but we kind of work on people having problems. That's our life, right? So I did a specific thing about encryption out to my newsletter people. And I'm going to start pushing that as a product because it's important if you're doing financial transfers. That's what FINRA is, right, Marvin? Financial data transferring?
This was the financial stuff.
Yeah. You got to protect that. And that's how these folks are getting snuck into wire fraud transfers and all that. And I'm trying. It's out in my marketing now. It's heavy, too. Because then they can just call up River and add that onto their account. And they'll do it all for you.
Yep.
Yep.
All right. So it seems as though we've hit on all the basics. So I just wanted to make sure we got all of those. And we kind of started to slip into story time with how some of our customers helped us sell them stuff.
Podcast mode. Happens. That's okay. These courses are kind of podcast level. So, you know, people are learning from our experiences and that's what it was intended for.
Yep. Adam, did you have a story pop in your head?
Nope.
No, well, in my last course, I talked about the 6 ways I make money. And it dawned on me, I was doing it wrong all last year. Encryption and secure tide and all the extra things should be part of our sales funnel with our clients, but sometimes taking it on too much is overwhelming for a client to think, wow, that's going to be expensive now. I called you to fix one thing, and now we're doing a $1,200 job. So sometimes it's easier to pull in the end products after the other sales are done and they get to experience working with us in AppRiver. Then they can say, oh, okay, well now I want that and that's $20 a month or 30 or whatever. You know, you don't have to sell everything at once.
No. And again, the beauty of the AppRiver program is you just sell what you need.
Right.
And I've gotten customers just by selling either mail only. And I've had I had a law firm where they didn't want to change their mail, but they wanted email encryption. So I just sold them the Cipher Post secure mail. And then 6 months later, they're like, so we want to do this with our mail and blah, blah, blah. And I said, well, we can do that. You're already a customer with AppRiver. Let's just switch you over to that platform. They didn't even hesitate.
Nice.
Whereas the 6 months before, oh, that's an extra $5 a month. Ah.
Yeah. Yeah, but what's your time and frustration worth?
Absolutely. Get them in the ecosystem. Let them see how easy it is. And then it's just moving over.
Right. Well, I think another thing is sometimes when I'm doing a sale, people are like, well, who's your vendor? Because I always use the word vendor. And I'll tell them AppRiver. And sometimes they go and do their own thing. And I have made it very clear, you have to work with me. You just can't call them up and start up your own account. I'm pretty sure they can't do that, right?
Actually, I believe you can.
Yes, they can. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
Oh, I wasn't sure. There might be some clients watching. So clients, if you're watching, call us.
You can.
Call us first.
Yeah, you can get your own account, but at the end of the day, somebody's still got to manage it. And when you have questions, it's nice to work with somebody you're familiar with.
Right.
Especially if you have an IT professional that you're working with, go with them first and give them the opportunity to do right by you every step of the way. Because it's not just a simple call, hey, switch us over. Somebody's got to migrate that mail.
Yep, and your IT professional is going to be familiar with your situation.
Yeah, that's true. And we understand the little nuts and bolts. I know that AppRiver does a lot of support, but they're not going to support your broken iCloud with your Gmail synced and your Android that won't sync with the family iCloud. Not happening. No.
Just had that 2 weekends ago.
I get that every time, every day.
I just pass those to Lisa.
That's right. I just keep taking those messes.
Yeah. All
All right,
right.
guys. Anything else we want to talk about? If trying to think of anything else I have. I've got in our last course number 3, we talked about the 6 ways. So if you're new to the course, go back and check out course number 1, 2, and 3 because we're trying to lead them up through sales and some tech stuff, and then we'll get into some deeper technical how-tos later. Are you using Teams yet, Marvin? With
I
your
am
clients?
not. I am not.
That's the new thing.
It
That was
is.
our course number 1.
Nope, we probably will. I've got a SharePoint migration coming up here in the next month, so
Good luck.
that'll be fun. And maybe once we get them on there, then we'll introduce Teams.
Great. Well, maybe we can get you back on to talk about your SharePoint migration.
I'll be happy to do that.
Yeah.
I'd like to hear about that.
Oh, yeah. Adam and I have some experience with that now. All right, you guys. Well, if anybody has any questions, Marvin, why don't you tell the folks how they can get a hold of you and what you're available to help for? Because the techs might need to talk to you, want to hire you, if you just let us know what you're available to do.
All right. Well, you can head over to my website is mbsystems.net. And on that site, you can reach out to me by phone, by email. If you don't like going to my website and you want to find me on the LinkedIn or the Facebook, I am on those as well. But for the most part, as I mentioned earlier, network support consultant, we, for the most part, only work with businesses. So if you've got, a business, law firm, health organization, or something where you've got people that need to migrate from an on-premise Exchange server into Office 365, that has probably been my niche because I dealt with a lot of on-site Exchange servers. So that's probably the best thing that I can help you guys with. But of course, anything to do with Office 365, getting set up and things of that nature.
Yeah, I like the fact that you got the experience with the on-prem servers because that is there's a lot of settings in like the DNS, the local server DNS that you might have to swap out, and some people don't know that. I've had that problem before.
There is a lot of things to make sure you have checked off on the checklist because you can do one little thing and, a month later, people can all of a sudden be redirected back to the Exchange server on site if you don't do what you're supposed to do.
Yeah. What's it called? Decommission the server correctly?
Yeah. A lot of people don't even, yeah.
Yeah. They just sit in the closet still turned on. Well, that's a good resource. I'm glad you added that because it's really hard to call someone up and say, look, can I just hire you to help me in a pinch? And we as techs have to help each other. And sometimes it's not so easy to find someone on Facebook. It's just so you have a dedicated resource. Adam, how about you?
itproiowa.com or acarpenter@itproiowa.com. We'll help with email migrations, typically up to about 20 mailboxes or so. Hit me up. Let me know if you need anything.
Yeah, we already got Adam a couple this week. He's hustling in on.
Yep.
All right, and I am Lisa Hendrickson with Call That Girl. You can get to me with, Lisa at callthatgirl.com or .biz. I got the 2 sites now. And be sure to check out at the bottom, be sure to check out at the bottom of the notes here of the course. There's going to be Adam and Marvin's email, and there's an FAQ page for you to sign up with that server. And I don't think we have a lot of course notes, so I don't need to put in too much there. Sometimes I put in a login, or I forgot what I was thinking about here. Anyway, all the notes will be there underneath this course. And stay tuned for course, our next course, which Adam, if you help me here, I believe is
Migration list.
No, I think that, sorry, for those that are watching, it might not be in order. I think the next one is onboarding tips, which we're going to talk about onboarding from an on-prem server to Office 365 and just other things you need to know about, when you're onboarding a client from whatever Exchange Online or the on-prem servers or other platforms. That's the next one, I think. Then after that is marketing tips. So I knocked out the sales tips. Now we got marketing. That's fun. Do you guys like marketing? Marvin's like, no, I don't.
I don't market.
Referrals only. Referrals only.
Referral, yep.
All right, you guys. Thanks for being here, and thank you to the students, and we'll see you in the next course.
All right.
Bye-bye.